Yo, Skye, what's up, everybody, man? Y'all know who I be. It's your man, Pooh, CYGG, man. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the two things that women and men need to work on to become better. Now, these two things are separate for both men and women. And no, I'm not a life coach or a relationship guru by any means. I'm not none of those things. I'm only 25. I still got a lot of life to learn, more things and gain more experiences. But from the outside looking in, and the person that's been observing certain behaviors, these are the two things that I've seen aid the most in a lot of women behavior and men behaviors. So with that being said, let's get into it. For women, the two things that they need to work on are emotion and attention. For men, those two things they need to work on are purpose and urges. Let's further elaborate on these. Now, we're going to start off with women first and talking about the emotions and attention. Now, I don't want this to come off negative, but you guys are going to understand where I'm going when I get to talking about these things. Now, the reason why I say emotion and attention is because typically we already know that women are emotional, but there are reasons why certain things move a certain way as well. Now, also, the reason why I say attention is because typically what women give their most attention from is where the most of their emotions go. Now, I'm going to show you guys examples of where these two pair and where they, go hand in hand. For example, have you ever heard a woman talk about what she would do if a man cheat on her, and everybody be like, dang, y'all will do everything except leave? Now, the reason why that is because, once a woman is emotionally attached to somebody, it's harder for them to break loose. And with a woman, since they're more emotionally attached, they are willing to try to look forward the most and look for the light at the end of the tunnel more than a man would, because they are more emotionally driven. Now, that's one example. That's why you see when women go into the emotional anger when they've been, hurt or something like that in a relationship, you see them go to the, burning up clothes, cutting up, clothes and stuff like that, cars, and attacking and stuff like that, being mad or just clicking in the head, because some women aren't able to control that. I'm not saying that excuses the behavior, but that's where the basis of it comes from, that emotion. Another example would be that it starts early. If you guys have ever been in high school and you see young high school girls going after the guys who are, let me say, the bad boys or something like that. These girls are well aware of what these guys are, how their behavior is, but since they're seeking attention from them, or since they're paying a lot of attention to them, their emotion and their logic about what these guys can actually do to them or how the relationship may actually go goes out the window. They're not worried about the logical impacts or the logical results of them possibly getting cheated on or him having. That doesn't matter, because right now, since all their attention is going there and since they're seeking attention back, they're more emotionally driven for the thrill or wanting that person, and that's where it goes. And that's why when you try to speak some sense like, why are you going for that dude in there? It doesn't matter. If you truly want to know what a woman thinks about you and how you should improve yourself, ask a woman that's not looking for you, looking for any type of attention from you, or is not interested in you at all. You will get a woman's full logical point of view on you then, because there's nothing blocking it. Another form of this will come in example 3. 3 would be insecurities and stuff like that, as well as along with social media. Now, the reason why I say social media, because social media is a place where attention is sought after. The reason why girls post pictures, the reason why girls post certain pictures to get a certain amount of likes, is because they're looking for a certain amount of attention to fuel their ego. This is true whether a person likes to say, hey, I'm just posting a picture just because I want to. It's called social media. The whole point of posting a picture here is to get some form of social interaction from others. If you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't post it here, and you wouldn't look for any type of heart emojis and stuff like that. Though the reason why those type of pictures that you see girls post certain provocative pictures and stuff like that is because it's also attention. That's how marketing works, because marketing plays on women's emotions and attention. This also starts off early in a young girl's life in high school as well. When a young girl sees that a certain young girl, since she has hit puberty or something, get a lot of attention, it evokes a certain type of emotion within the girl. She starts to think, well, my boobs aren't as big, my butt isn't as big, all the guys like her, why they don't like me? That attention that she is seeking to be sought after her as well is causing that emotional thing, it's causing that emotion to happen. This is also marketed throughout social media. The reason why a lot of women feel like they want to have either big butts, waist trainers and stuff like that, or even a lot of makeup, is because yes, you look good the way you are. But if you really want to get that guy you're looking for, and if you really want to get that attention you're looking for and be called even more beautiful, then you're going to have to try these products, this waist trainer, this makeup, this foundation, this butt shots. You're going to have to try these things because these things will make you feel better. Attention and emotion. You see how these two things align with each other? The last thing would be music by women as well. And I'm not just going to talk about that like men don't have bad music either. But the reason why I say this is because you got to understand, we've had plenty of women make music that evokes the emotion out of women because of what they are paying attention to in their certain situations. For example, you got Cardi B, you got Megan Thee Stallion, Beyonce, City Girls. Now, the reason why I brought up all of these is because Beyonce made All My Single Ladies while she was married. But all the women were like, yo, yes, that's what I'm talking about. If he liked it, he should have put a ring on it. So that emotion of, yes, I'm single, but it's not my fault because, it was somebody else. It causes them to pay more attention to that message. Megan Thee Stallion, Hot Girl Summer. Oh, yes. Yeah, girl, go have a hot girl summer. Y'all go do this and all that. Megan Thee Stallion is in a relationship. But that evokes the emotion out of women because they're like, yes, if I don't have a man, all I got to do is go out here and go live it up. And that's empowerment. That makes me feel better. And also the City Girls. JT is with Lil Uzi. And then what? Young Miami was pregnant. Like, do I even need to go to Cardi B? I don't cook, I don't clean, but then got show cooking and cleaning. Women know that if they appeal to certain women's emotion, that's where the money's come. If you guys don't understand, women are mostly consumers when it comes to certain things. Women buy more products than anybody, and men consume more sexual stuff than anybody as well. And that's what I'm gonna get to with men. Trust me, I'm gonna get to y'all. But now that we've addressed these things, the reason why I pointed out these things is because when women pay attention to certain stuff and when their emotion goes towards the wrong things, that's when you can develop a certain type of woman. That's how that happens. If a woman only pays attention to hood guys, this guy, that type of guy, bad boys, something like that, then her emotion goes to them. Then what ends up happening is once she stops being attracted to him or she takes enough damage from dating bad, then that's when she realizes that, oh, I need to pick better. The reason why she decides she needs to pick better because the attention or the emotion that she had from that certain guy that she was picking is no longer there, and she realized she no longer wants that type of attention from that certain group of men anymore. And this what happens to women a little too late. This usually happens after they've made a lot of mistakes. But usually when you got a woman that's not paying attention to that type of crowd, that's not paying attention to that type of stuff, that is not emotionally driven by everything that men look after or everything that a woman judges them on or something like that, usually you get different type of women who move differently. Now, what do I mean by that when I say different type of women that move differently? I'm not saying that I expect most women to be emotionally stable, most emotionally stable, but some women have a good lock and control on their emotion because as a woman, well, women's strength comes from is their emotion because you got some young men who don't know how to be nurtured out here. And that's what women have, that superpower of that, that nurturing, that being emotional, that knowing how to show affection and love to a young man or a young daughter or a child whenever they're raised. Now, the reason why this gets misconstrued is when you have a woman who's out here thinking that toxicity is a personality trait of thinking that, oh, I'm toxic because I do this. That right there is a form of bad emotional stability. That's emotional and being emotionally unstable. Also, when it comes from attention, now the reason why I say attention wise is because usually women who are not seeking the attention of, hey, I need these likes, oh, I need this attention, oh, you know what, my TikTok ain't been banging, my Instagram ain't been banging, let me throw on some short shorts with my ass out. Like, these women aren't looking for any form of validation from a man. They're not looking to be heavily sought after by the wrong crowd because the people who they want attention from are not expecting them to do those things. So these women move a little bit differently. This doesn't mean that these women aren't sexy or anything. They just choose to be sexy within the own confines of a person that prefers them not to showcase it to the world. And that's where, if you have a woman that's working on both these things, like I'm gonna tell y'all an example real quick. This would be like OnlyFans and stuff like that. Now the reason why I say this is because we already know the adult websites are free, but it's a reason why people were paying for OnlyFans. It's because a specific person that they never got to see undressed was undressing. Now it's a rarity in that. And the reason why it's a rarity in that is because, yo, I never got to see this person fully unclothed, and I want to see it. I'm willing to pay for something I never got to see, as opposed to paying for something I already get to see. You see how that, you see how one difference? Because one, you don't get to see that often, and the other one, they're willing to pay for because you're not willing to get that often. That's the difference between females who are always showing something and females that's not showing nothing. That's even in high school. You even see the difference between if you ask like certain high school kids or something like that, or college kids. I'm gonna even say college kids. You even ask college kids, yo, out of all these women, man, which one would you want? They're not gonna ask for the girl that's on college sleeping around for everybody, because she gets a different type of attention. She gets a different type of respect for the one that they never hear anything about. That one gets a different type. Like I'm trying to make this as simple as I don't know what, for y'all to understand. But with that being said, I feel like I've further elaborated on that one. Now we're gonna move on to the men. Now that we're on the men, we're gonna talk about the top 2 things that men gotta work on to get better. And those 2 things are purpose and urges. Now the reason why I say the top 2 things for men are their purpose and their urges is because when you're on your purpose, basically your purpose means that you're trying to be the best version of yourself. You're always looking to attain something. You're self-analyzing. You're trying to improve yourself emotionally and physically. You're trying to find whatever way you can do to put yourself in a better light. Now, when it comes to urges, yes, we have urges. Those urges are sexual urges, urges to impress, urges to compete, and stuff like that. But those are bad versions to those urges too. If you're a person and you're living in your urges and you have no purpose, basically what you're doing, you're basically messing up your life. You're going to be one of those dudes that's always asking what a hoe's at, always trying to find a woman to validate you as a man. You're always going to find yourself without. You're always going to be blaming somebody else. You're always going to try to impress people. You have no type of priorities at all. Yes, we have urges, but you're not supposed to live in your urges. I'll explain with some examples. Example number 1. Have you guys ever heard a woman say, "Oh man, broke dudes have better penis than rich dudes"? You want to know why that can be? Because if a man is on his purpose most of the time, it's because these men are working, so they have less time to reside in their sexual urges to a certain degree. But the broke men, you clearly see the difference. He's not on his purpose. He has no car. He's not trying to be the best version of himself. He has nothing. So guess what? All his energy goes towards his sexual urge. He's just doing that so he can make it by. Have you ever heard of a guy who said, "Yo, I just got paid. I got some money, man. I got a lot of money. I could do all this. I mean, I could buy an apartment. I could, invest it here, but I'm about to buy them rims, G. Hey, I'm about to buy them Jordans. I'm about to buy this new gaming PC or something like that." Basically, you are living in your urge to impress. You are not prioritizing. You are not trying to save or put anything in you or put anything towards you that can basically invest in your growth. This can be dangerous because if you're a man who's living in your sexual urge and your urge to impress, you are basically almost in simp status, because you will go out of your way to impress a girl that you're sexually interested in. This is how simps are created. This is how those men tend to, strive and stuff. And that's because, you are constantly trying to fulfill this urge, because fulfilling this urge makes you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose. You don't fulfill your urges to fulfill your purpose, because you feel like the more validation, the more sex you get, the more people feel like they're telling you, "Yo, you got this," that it makes you feel like you're on your purpose, when in actuality you're not. That's why you must be on your purpose in order to suppress your urges, because then you will understand what urges you don't need to partake in. Also got certain type of men that go out their way and kill a man for a girl, or take advantage of a woman and stuff like that, because these guys are either living in their ultimate urge to impress, or they're living in their ultimate urge of sex, man, because they're trying so hard to try. Since they're wanting to get it so bad, they will go out of their way of hurting a woman to get sex or stuff like that. The reason why, because they're living in their most form of sexual urge, and it's like, bro, that's not the life you want to live. And these guys basically lose their purpose because they have none. These are why you got the guys who are interested in child types of stuff and all this type of stuff, because they have these types of urges that they're living in, because they're putting no effort towards improving themselves, improving their body, improving their mind, improving anything about themselves. And that's how you fall into this category, because they're having no form of self-analyzing and self-actualization. How these people are created, bro. Sometimes you got to sit down and you got to actually think, do I care too much about what women think? Do I care too much about what a group of people think? Sometimes you got to understand, you got to care more about what you think, bro. This is why you got certain songs say, F women, get money. But the thing is, some of you guys end up thinking just because you got money that makes you living in your purpose. You can be a guy stuck in your urges with money. And this is why you see a lot of rappers, even though they have a lot of money, they're still on drugs. They're still rotating through women. They're still doing all this stuff, and they're still not satisfied. Even though you would think, yo, you got $1 million, you got all this money. Why are you still doing this stuff? It's because those urges don't die. Because they're still living in their urges. It's just now they're living in their urges with a lot of money. They're not on their purpose. This is some stuff y'all really gotta pay attention to, bro. That's also how that symbiotic relationship works. Men who have high sexual urges and women who are looking for that attention, the OnlyFans crowd, that's how these two combine. These men with these high sexual urges and, urge to impress these women by purchasing their OnlyFans or throwing lots of money in the strip club because they want to give attention to these women who seeking attention from ballers. And that's how this symbiotic relationship works. You got to understand that, man. That's how this stuff works, bro. I just want to make sure I include that. That's how these, certain groups of women make this money, because of these types of men. But let me continue on the subject. Like, seriously, bro, I can go on for examples with examples. That's why you got certain athletes that stay in trouble. That's why you got certain rappers that stay in trouble. That's why you got certain entertainers that stay in trouble. That's why it's like the reason why some of these people still stay and they still find themselves in this dark hole, even though they got more money than the average person, is because, bro, these men are still living in their urges, bro. You got to understand that, yes, as men, having our purpose, it's there, man. A man being on his purpose, it serves as a great example for his son that he will be raising, and also for his daughter that he will be raising, because you providing that example of yourself helps your daughter see what type of man she will want in the future, and it helps your son realize what man that he wants to be growing up when you start to raise your kids. Also, this works with the urges because you understand that, yes, when you're raising kids, man, some kids are going to go through the adolescent stage. Some, you know what I'm saying? You're able to teach your children, you teach your offspring, because this thing, when it's about getting better, it's not about just getting better for you. It's about getting better for the ones that you're going to bring into the future as well, man. And being able to reach out to other people, because I'm telling you, bro, it's a reason why you see all these dudes who are able to get so many girls still want one woman that they can keep. It's because they realize trying to fulfill that urge of hitting the baddest woman is not gonna mean nothing. Because if everybody can hit that girl, then guess what? It's not worth it. But if you got a girl that everybody can't hit, then guess what? You don't have to worry about supplying that urge to everywhere else. But as a man, you got to keep yourself on your purpose. Because if you think just because you can get a lot of women that you got to exercise your options, in the Kevin Samuels way to a lot of women, that's not gonna make you that type of dude, because you are living in your urge, bro. And if you're a dude that's constantly trying to impress, getting gangs, wear certain clothes to fit in, buy certain things to fit in with certain group, you're living in your urge, bro. You're not living in your purpose. I hope that this advice was able to help both women and men. This is my opinion. Like I said, no, I'm not a life coach or anything by any means. These are things that I have learned and, have observed just sitting back and paying attention to life. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think about the video. Let me know if you agree with it. I understand it's more deep psychological stuff that goes into these topics, that these topics can I'm stumbling on my word, that these topics can actually run more in depth. But the basis of it for women is their attention, basically who they seek attention from, and who they pay attention to, and their emotion. And for men, it's their purpose and their urges, whether those be sexual urges, urges to impress, whatever. You got to understand if you're living in your urge or if you're living in your purpose. And if you're a woman, you got to understand if you're paying attention to the wrong things that you're giving all that emotion to, baby. You got to understand that. And that's one thing that I've learned in this life as a man. Let me know what you guys think, man. Once again, in the comments below. Till next time, it's your man, Pooh. CYGG. And I'm out.